Hey everyone, this is Paul, and I'm going to be doing a video on a pretty interesting topic today, a topic on homeless Christians. That's right, homeless Christians. And before I go on, this topic, this title, most likely won't be what you're thinking it will be about. So just stay tuned. You know, when someone gets saved, when someone repents, believes on, and follows the Lord, Jesus Christ, one of the first things that they think of when they get saved is, well, I need to find a church. I need to go to church. And, that kind of comes naturally, especially here in the United States. Being a Christian and going to church are always associated. They're always related with each other in people's concepts and people's minds. So like I said, when someone gets saved, one of the first things that they think of is, well, I need to find a church. I need to go to church. But people, I'm here to tell you that 99.9, at least 99.9% of the churches in this country are bad churches, are not worthy of attending, are not according to the Bible, are not teaching the truth, and are not practicing it. This is a warning regarding the churches in the United States, even all over the world. There are a lot of evil things going on in the churches, especially in this country, a lot of evil things going on in the churches. I myself have experienced a leading out of the churches, a leading out of the churches here in the United States. And I know several other dear, genuine Christians as well, who have had the same kind of leading, same kind of calling to come out of the churches. And I also know several others who are in that process right now of coming out of the churches. And it's a strange thing. It's a strange situation when you don't have what some call a church home. There's phrases like church home or local body. You don't have a church home. It's a strange situation when you don't have a church home, especially when you've been accustomed to going somewhere, to going to a church building every Sunday. So what should you do? What should you do with regards to the churches? There is a false concept, and it is very prevalent here in the United States especially. There is a false concept that if you don't go to church, that is, if you don't go to a church building, and or if you don't meet at a place that has a pastor or a priest, then you're improper, you're not spiritually grounded, you're really missing out on a lot, and you're kind of homeless. You're like a homeless Christian. You don't have a home. You're also considered by some, maybe you're like a church hopper. Oh, you don't have a church home. You must be one of those church hoppers. So homeless Christian, church hopper, there's these different phrases that people use regarding these people. Such Christians, genuine Christians, who don't fit into the mold of this Americanized Christianity of going to a church building every Sunday. Such genuine Christians are often looked down on, marginalized. They're not taken seriously. They're pitied. And, if they dare minister by preaching, by witnessing, by contending for the truth, if they dare do those things, their credibility is usually questioned because they are labeled as homeless or church hoppers. So I want to expose the folly of this misconception. And I'm going to do so, first of all, with an example. You know, in this country, in the United States, one of the many great problems is homelessness, and I would say especially the homeless youth. There are many precious young men and women in this country who are homeless, and that is a shame. That is a shame. And many of these children who are homeless are runaways. Not all of them, but many of them are runaways. They have run away from their homes. Why would they do such a thing? Why? Usually because of neglect and abuse. Physical abuse, psychological abuse, sexual abuse, and outright neglect. Lack of proper care, lack of love, lack of affection and nurturing. Very, very sad. And so the fact is that many children, we're talking about children, adolescents, choose to leave their homes. Why? To escape the abuse and the neglect that they experience over and over and over again. Why? In an attempt to find something better. They may just have just a little bit of hope that they might possibly find something better than the abusive household where they came from. And so I know this from personal experience. One of my step siblings, my step brother, who is 5 years older than me, when I was 10 and he was 15, he ran away. Actually, before that, he had run away multiple times. But when he was 15 years old and I was 10 years old, he ran away for good. Why? Because of the neglect and the abuse that he experienced in our household. He ran away for good. So I know about this from firsthand experience. It's a very sad situation. So, you know, doing this kind of thing is very risky. It's very dangerous. And it's a desperate attempt to find something better. And, you know, that's how a lot of these children, not always, but it is how a lot of these children end up in child porn and prostitution rings, child sex trafficking. Very evil, very sad. That's how a lot of these kids end up in these things, is by running away. But it's because they tried to find something better. They ran away from home to try to find something better. So, my question is to the people out there, especially to the people who refer to genuine Christians who don't have a church home as homeless. My question to you is, do you despise the homeless youth who have run away from their homes in an attempt to find something better? Do you despise them? Do you despise their suffering and risky attempts to find something better? And if not, why then do you look down on and marginalize the homeless Christians? If you don't despise the homeless youth, which I wouldn't think anyone listening would, why then do you despise the homeless Christians who don't have a church home? Do you call the homeless youth improper, not grounded? Do you look down on them and not take them seriously? Do you question their credibility? And if not, then why do you do the same thing with the homeless Christians, with these so-called church hoppers? You know, the truth of the matter is that many true seeking Christians who, like the homeless youth, have run away, who have run